It's been 6 months since I got my AKG K371 headphones. Well, 6 months since I got a pair that wasn't damaged or faulty out of the factory. Now, many might have seen my previous video about QC issues, and I wanted to give an update on where things are with my current pair. Are they still working okay, and have any faults developed? And am I still using them? Well, let's get into it. Hey guys, this is Noel and this is Wheezy Reviews, and each week I take a look at something audio related and let you know what I think, so if you're into that kind of thing, then make sure you subscribe. The AKG K371 and K361 were released in late 2019 to considerable acclaim in the audiophile community. These headphones are low-cost professional or creator-focused headphones with lightweight construction, roomy and comfortable earpads, and tuned to the AKG reference sound frequency response, which is based on the Harman target. For many, these two headphones filled a niche in the market, offering something a little bit more refined than the average monitoring headphones that have cramped and uncomfortable earpads and an aggressively forward sound signature. Clearly, AKG had done their homework, releasing two different flavors of this headphone in two different price points. Both the K371 and the K361 have their own fan groups, usually preferring one model over the other, similar to fans of the HD600 and the HD650. I still own both the K361 and the K371, but for me, my personal pick of the pair was the K371. However, it was not without its issues. There were numerous reports online of build and/or QC issues, most notably in relation to the hinge mechanism coming loose or even falling apart completely. Myself, I had a number of issues. One of the hinges came apart about a week after owning my first pair of K371, so I had to arrange a warranty replacement. The second one arrived and had cosmetic damage, and I wasn't prepared to accept a cosmetically damaged unit for something that was brand new, so that one was also returned. Unit 3 arrived with missing parts and issues with the ear cups, and that was also returned. And later I sourced a fourth unit from another retailer that had some strange driver issue on one side. Now, perhaps the driver was damaged, it was wired up wrong, or it was missing some dampening. I really don't know, but this fourth pair was also returned. I tried to get hold of AKG Harman to speak with them about this and came up blank. All support was to happen with the retailer or via the local distributor. So the only course of action I had was to keep ordering units until I found a good one. As I was getting nowhere with any of my inquiries, I basically gave up on them at this point and published a video documenting my experience. Now, as I noticed in my main review and in the QC issues video, I was sure that this was due to early production run teething problems that could be sorted out, but I had about reached the end of my patience. A couple of weeks later, AKG reached out to me to talk about the issues that I'd experienced and apologized for the trouble. I was told that they had launched a full investigation and would make the necessary adjustments to ensure this sort of thing didn't continue to happen. They also sent me a working unit, which I have dubbed Unit 5, and that is the unit that I still have today. Now, as far as I'm aware, AKG has managed to resolve the early run build issues, and going forwards, there should be no further issues like this. I think this is likely to be true, or there would be a lot more reports of issues by this point. So how about my K371 Unit 5? Are they still working? And yes, and they're serving me quite well at this point. As you might know, I'm a big fan of the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro as a general purpose headphone, and my K371 doesn't get the same daily use as the 770 does for sure. However, I do regularly reach for the K371, mostly to use for their design purpose as a monitoring headphone, and they're also my go-to when I'm video editing. The earpads are still in good condition and just as comfortable as the first day that I got them, and I find them to be nice and deep and plush and excellently comfortable even for long listening sessions, although just like many pleather pads on most closed-back headphones, they do get a bit hot for those longer sessions. The headband is plenty comfortable for a headphone of this weight, and the clamping force has eased a little since they were new. Overall, comfort has been really quite excellent for a monitoring style headphone. One little quality of life feature I really like about the K371 is the 3-pin mini XLR connector, which allows me to swap cables quite easily. And most importantly, these cables are also compatible with the K712 Pro and the DT1990 Pro, to the point that I even modded my DT770 Pro with a mini XLR connector so that I could much more easily swap between each of these models using the same cable. In terms of the build, I am happy to report that Unit 5 is holding up well. Nothing is broken, fallen off, or apart. The hinges are still nice and stiff and haven't shown any signs of loosening off, and this does tend to lend a little bit more weight to the idea that if the headphones are built properly in the first place, that there should not be any issues with them coming apart later. It could then be argued that there isn't really a problem with the design itself, but that those early issues were simply a matter of quality control. But I'm not going to lie, I'm personally not overly impressed with this hinge design. I don't think it's a particularly good design. In my opinion, it is the weak link in an otherwise decent construction, although not necessarily an ideal construction. And I say this because this is marketed to professionals, and I don't particularly believe that the K371 will stand the rigors of daily abuse in a professional environment. I think I would be reaching for a Beyerdynamic or a Sennheiser for that kind of work. I mean, look at headphones like the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro and the Sennheiser HD25, both of which are incredibly durable and user serviceable. In fact, you'll probably be passing your DT770s down to your grandkids in 20 or 30 years' time for them to enjoy, and it remains to be seen how well the K371 will hold up. With that said, mine are still in one piece, but every time I fold mine up, I do cringe slightly, although I am willing to admit that my hesitation has probably been coloured by my experience. And let's be real here, there are no perfect headphones, at least not at this price point. They all make a compromise somewhere, and we all have to decide which compromises we're prepared to accept. Now, in terms of their sound, everything I said in my original review still holds true. I absolutely love how they sound. I'm not big on closed-back headphones for listening to music. Having said that, every time I reach for the K371, I am reminded just how good they are. Not just in terms of their sound signature, but in terms of the technical performance too. They have a really decent level of detail reproduction and a certain level of musicality that makes them thoroughly enjoyable to listen to, unlike many other closed-back headphones in this price range, which are often edgy and aggressive. The K371 is really quite smooth and refined. It is quite unusual to find a closed-back that doesn't require any EQ to be tolerable. Now, do I still recommend the K371? Yes, absolutely, and the K361 too, especially as they have both had a bit of a price cut since launch. If you're after a reasonably priced closed-back wired headphone that is quite portable, the K371 is probably one of the better ones on the market today. Right, I hope this has been useful for you, especially for those who have been sitting on the fence about the K371. Let me know if this helps you to get off the fence and which side you get off. And like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, and all of that business. Thank you to the patrons, and thank you so much for watching. You're getting 2 videos this week, so I will see you again on Saturday. And until next time, have a good one.